Hello and welcome to the Tuesday live stream. My name is Igor and this is the channel where we build and maintain open source and free to use applications. At the moment we are focusing on the Shikigami application, which you can see right now. I'm sharing it with you. So Shikigami is the agentic IDE that allows you to switch between agentic coding mode, where you can manage multiple sessions of your AI agents, and the editor mode, where you can work on your code manually. And of course, that allows you to have a hybrid mode when you switch between them when you want to support your work on a certain application. Let's take a quick look at our board. So what is on the schedule today? We have 4 things in manual verification that we're gonna do in a minute. But before that, let's take a look at to-do, because I've added a few things. Few smaller things. So the first one is cleanup. After finishing your work on a work tree, there should be an option to clean up work tree directory and the Git branch that is related to it. That's not an option at the moment, so let's add it today. Then, important thing, especially for me, because the application is for free, will be for free. And there is also Who is Out of Office project, which we are working on. This is a Symfony application that is dedicated for small and medium teams to manage leave absences. And what is important to me is that this is the open source. The Who is Out of Office is the open source application. And I would like to add an information to the Shikigami app about the packages that I am using in the Shikigami code. So this task is about adding a modal with open source licenses information. Then another small thing, double shift click should open a search pop-up that is dedicated for searching for a file or files. Then the next thing, that's gonna be very useful. In the editor mode, we should have an option to start a shell session, CMD session, different than the agent session. Yeah, so these 4 things for today, for sure. So when the agent's gonna work on that, we can take a look at the things that are in the manual verification. So let's go. Okay, and the small intro for those who are new. This is Shikigami. You can here add multiple workspaces, and in Shikigami, workspace is a project, so to speak. So of course you can tell your agent to do work outside of the workspace in different directory. That's of course possible, but the idea, at least now, is that workspace is dedicated for a project. So here we have a workspace for the Shikigami application, because we are using Shikigami to develop Shikigami. It's stable and good enough to do it. So once you click on add a new agent, you can decide what model would you like to use. For now, that's good. That will be changed in the future, but at the moment Shikigami supports only Claude agent, and this is my personal preference. This is not a sponsored video. Then you can choose effort. We're gonna choose the high effort, and then if you want, you can start more than one session at once. Then you decide if you want to run the agent session in the root of your project, or maybe you want to create a dedicated work tree for the work. So this is what we're gonna do now. We're gonna create a new work tree for the cleanup functionality. And one more thing, if there is, in case of resuming work in the existing work tree, because maybe you didn't clean up it, it's still there. This is a new thing. Actually, it was on our verification list, so we can verify it now. So the task was about detecting if a given directory, in this case workspace, has an existing work tree. And if there are work trees, one or more, then you can choose one of them and start session there. So, okay, let's verify it now. Because maybe we have to move it from manual verification into the bug area, and then resolve this issue first. So let's see. Okay, the highlight active agent session. There is a typo, but it doesn't matter. Then I'm gonna rename it. Existing work tree verification. And then let's choose low. Okay, and it may not be that easy for you to see it because the font is small, but here, that piece, that part of the path is path to that points to the work tree, the highlight active agent session, and in the top right corner there is a branch name. So it works, and I'm moving now this card to done, and I mark it as done. Okay. So let's get to work. New session, hi, new work tree, and one more time, work tree cleanup. And in this case we have a new work tree that was created for us in .shiki directory. This is in the root of your project. Of course, this should be also added to gitignore file, to the gitignore file that you have in your project, but like this is out of the like we are not focusing on that specific part now. We're gonna focus on the new features, but yeah, that's how it works. And there is a branch created for you as well. Okay. Sorry. I want you to brainstorm on the idea of having a cleanup after I click on remove an agent session. If the session had a new work tree, I want to have an option, a checkbox. Once it is checked, the corresponding work tree directory and the branch should be as well removed. By default, this is unchecked. By the way, now you can also see, because this is okay, you can see it, it's quite well visible, that we've changed. Last time we changed the glow effect, the green glow. It's much better now. We improved that, and that means that the agent is currently working on something. It should turn into yellow if there is an action required from your side, or nothing if agent is doing nothing, is waiting, is in the idle state. Okay, and another thing, double shift click. So in the editor area, there is a search. That search is looking for a content of files, but I want also to have an option to look for a specific file in my project directory, and that's gonna be I want a behavior like this. I click 2 times shift when my focus is in the editor mode, and then that should open a pop-up, and that pop-up should look for should filter by looking at files names. This is useful especially in bigger projects when you have multiple classes, multiple files, and you want to find something quickly instead of jumping around directories. And this we're gonna as well start, for that we're gonna start as well create a new work tree and start working in this work tree directory that was created for that specific session. I want you to brainstorm on an idea to have a search for files, for file names, and I want to have a model that will be rendered when I click 2 times on shift button, and that action should run only when there is a focus in editor area. If something is unclear, please ask. Yeah, and now we can see the left column is yellow, so it means the agent is waiting, and because my focus is in the Shikigami application, I didn't receive notification. So normally, if you switch to a different application, there will be yellow color here, but as well there will be a notification on the OS level, on the system level that you are using. Once you click on it, it's gonna bring you exactly to the session, to the agent that is waiting for your input. Okay, and now it's the time for the third ticket for today. This is support for CMD sessions, shell sessions within the editor area. So this is a typical functionality in most IDEs, that somewhere at the bottom there is a button. Once you click on a button that is dedicated for shell commands, shell sessions, when you click on it, then the terminal session will be open for you, in the directory that you are at the moment, and then you can interact with your project, your system, with the terminal. Okay, from what I see, and the agent just discovered it as well, we already have such a functionality, but it has binding to Command plus P, not to double shift click. Well, the double shift click is the behavior that exists in a PHP IDE that I'm using. So if that's the case, well, let's test it first. So I'm gonna run the application now in the development mode, because what you are looking at is the production mode. Okay, let me share with you. So this is how the model looks like now. And it works. Let's see what happens if I click on one of the results. Okay, and it takes us there. But what I don't like is that you cannot resize it. So, and also the set of results is not, that doesn't expand to the whole model space. So, okay, instead of creating a new thing, we're gonna improve the existing one. Okay, so let's chat about it with the agent. Okay, thank you for reminding. I see we do have the search modal, but let's improve it. So first I want to have an option to resize with my mouse resize the model and change its shape from a square to rectangular, for example. So that's the first requirement. The second one is that by looking at the model, I see that the result list, the results set, is not expanded to the whole size of a model. So please take care of that. And there is one more thing I would like to have, is that whenever an input has a match, I want that match to be highlighted in the results list. And the the accent can be of a blue color. I believe that's what we have now with CMD. Sorry, not CMD. With a CD command that we use in the new workspace, new project model. So keep it consistent. Okay, so my idea is that for now we're gonna add the double shift action 2. So there will be command plus P and double shift, but in the future it should be unified, narrowed down to only one combination, and that might be configurable by users. But this is for the future, work. So for now, yes, please add double shift 2 and let's move forward. Okay, so these two agents are working. Now this is the time to start the third one. So that one will take care of that shell sessions or terminal sessions in the editor area. Okay, but before we instruct agent what to do, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content. If you are here now with me and there is something that bothers you or you have questions, please let me know in the chat or later in the comments section. I will, of course, answer to all your questions. I would like to have an option to start terminal sessions in the editor area. Please add a button next to the two buttons that we already have, which is search and hide and show hidden directories. So I want you to add the third button. Once I click on it, the terminal session should be started. We can have more than one session, but put a hard limit to 5. Yeah, so for now we're gonna have the hard limit of 5. Every session should start in the root directory of the project /workspace. If something is unclear, please let me know. Yeah, I am wondering if there is, if we need to have another maybe library in the application, or what we have at the moment is enough. because we already start sessions for agents. So maybe there is no need for a new dependency, but definitely we don't have a component that is dedicated for terminal sessions. Okay, so now let's take a look at the manual verification. Let me collapse done. So add version label. It is at the very bottom on the right side. So I am moving that to done. So adding the label with a version is the first step into having live updates, seamless updates for you once we release the application. I can already tell you that the macOS version there will be a delay, unfortunately, because I need to be enrolled in the Apple developer program, and because I already was in the past, then and the entity information that I provided at that time are not up to date in 2026, so I cannot just edit the form. I need to contact with the support. So Apple will not be provided macOS application won't be provided from day one. So it means that maybe this week we'll be able to build our first Linux package and then host it on our website. But let's see. Okay, and the glow effect. You already seen it. This is done. And open project model. Okay, let me show you how it works. So that's the button at the top next to workspaces that you already have. There is a plus, and here you can see you can either use browse, and then there is it is opening Explorer that you have in your system. But if you don't want to use it, then there is a CD option, and you can type either the beginning of the directory that you want to go in or a part of it only. We just shipped an improvement because before the improvement you have to exactly match from the beginning the exact name or exact characters from that directory that you are looking for. Now that's not a requirement. You can just type a part of it and then choose what option you want, which directory, then you hit enter and you can jump to the next one and to the next one until you finally are in the right place. Then you hit open, and the open is starting a new workspace for you. I mean the open button. Okay, and so now it's the time for the new agent, new session, for next thing. And this is gonna be the open source licenses model. And for that specific issue, feature, sorry. For that specific feature, I already have a prompt, so I'm gonna paste it here. Because I prepared it off stream earlier today. Okay, this is good. Please continue. Could you please confirm that if there is no work tree and no branch, then the application won't fail or throw an exception? I wanted to just silently continue on it. What about having a hard-coded list that we're gonna update whenever there is a new package? And please show me again questions that I skipped. How about showing a small notification at the right bottom corner with an information that there was nothing to clean up? Because I don't want users just unnotified that we tried to delete a work tree directory, but we couldn't. There is no action on click required. This should be just a small rounded info box. Okay, please continue with the spec file. Okay, I see now. So then I would like to follow your recommendations. After you create a plan, I want you to run 2 sub-agents. One of them should focus on the code aspect of the plan, and the other one should take a deep look at the architecture, because we don't want to add mess to the existing code base. I wanted to follow best practices for Electron and TypeScript applications. Okay, if this is the case, then I'm gonna create a follow-up ticket in which we're gonna work on the in-app notifications. So for now, please skip that step. It's gonna just silently fail. Okay, so now I want you to prepare an implementation plan based on the spec. Please run two code reviews, two sub-agents, and one of them should do code review of the implementation that is proposed, and the other one should take a deep look at the architecture of the feature implementation. Okay, and the last thing to take care now is the open source license model. Okay, so as I understand, now is the time to prepare a spec file. Right? Okay guys, so I've added a new issue for the notification, in-app notifications. That this is something we're gonna work on next time, at the next session. And this is the foundation for all other notifications, because we created it because of the worktree removal confirmation, but again, we're gonna reuse it at other places as well. as we gonna progress with the application, with improvements, with new features, then this notification system will be helpful to let you know, for example, if any typical mechanism will happen in IDE, in an IDE. So for example, when we want to index files, for example, if the code base is big and it will take some time, then as well, once the indexing action is done, then you should see a notification. But not only for that, of course. This is just one of the use cases for notifications. Okay, please now prepare the implementation plan and run 2 rounds of reviews. One of them is the code review, the other one is the architecture review. And please focus on not repeating yourself and reusing existing elements from the components set that we have in the application. Okay, so they are working and they are busy at the moment. So let's take a quick look at the homepage of the Shikigami project. That's how it looks. It's gonna be published soon. I already deployed it to the server that where it's hosted. But we have to finalize a few things before I make it public. So yeah, the idea is to have an agentic IDE that will fulfill the requirements of developers in 2026. Yeah. So the agentic coding is getting more and more popular, and I don't know how you work, but to me it was annoying when I had to switch from my IDE to a terminal session, and then within a terminal application I had to switch between one or more tabs to find the agent that is currently working on my code base. Especially if you work on multiple projects, then it is annoying. So that's the idea that is behind the Shikigami app, that you can switch seamlessly between agent coding in a certain workspace. It means project. In Shikigami, workspace is their equivalent of a project, and then you can switch between the code editor where you can modify files, where you can preview changes, and the agentic coding when you can delegate to multiple agent sessions or one session. It depends how you work and how you prefer to work, where you can delegate them tasks and they're gonna work on features, analyze your code base, or they're gonna fix bugs. The application gonna be for free. It will be closed source. Maybe at some point we're gonna make it open source, but I cannot guarantee that. For sure it's gonna be free, at least in the shape that you can see it now. We're gonna add more functionalities, especially to the editor area, because I would like to have it at the level that will be satisfying to most developers. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna support all languages. I want to support JavaScript, TypeScript, and PHP, because these are languages that I'm working on every day. It will be great to also have integrations with frameworks like Symfony framework or Laravel framework, but I cannot guarantee that. There might be some requirements for licensing, and maybe this isn't something that you can do or take for free. So let's see. The future will tell. And the feature set that Shikigami provides is, of course, as I mentioned, the parallel agents work. So you can run multiple sessions. You're gonna receive notifications whenever something requires a certain agent is waiting for your input. You can suspend agents. You can, at any point in time, resume their work, because Shikigami is taking care of capturing the session, cloud session UUID. So it's gonna be stored for you. Whenever you are ready to resume your work, you resume the agent and then continue working with it. And of course, as I mentioned, so a full editor built in. Minimal implementation at the moment, because I would like to also know if you like it, if you enjoy using the Shikigami application, and I also would like to hear feedback from you if there is a certain way that you want to Shikigami to follow. But this is for the future. Maybe I would like to publish it this week, and I would like to at least provide a Linux package for you. But let's see. Unfortunately, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, because there is an Apple developer program, and I was enrolled in the past in it, and it's not easy to just renew it right away. Then I have to wait for the support to renew it and change the personal information that are in the existing account. Okay, let's take a look at the agents. Okay, and yeah, so one of them is working and 3 of them are waiting for our input. Let's take a look. Did you verify the code and the architecture of the feature implementation? I want you to extract the logic that will be shared between these 2 components, but please run a sub-agent that should verify if the architecture of the implementation that you prepared is correct. And what is also important, I want to have full test unit coverage for the shared component and the child components that are inheriting from it. Okay, and we just gonna start the first implementation, first real work on the code base. So let me move this is the open source licenses model. I'm moving it into progress from in planning. So this is the first thing today. And we're gonna run it with a sub-agent driven approach. And of course with code reviews after each milestone. This is very important to keep the quality as good as possible. Okay, so I want you to start working on it with a sub-agent driven mode. I want you to run code review after each milestone, and also once all is done, I want 2 sub-agents to first run code review, verify the code quality, and the second one should focus very deeply on the architecture of the solution. I see 3 people in the chat. Let me welcome you, and maybe one of you could share your name. So then I can greet you by name. By the way, I would like to say huge thank you to because we passed 40 subscribers. So huge thank you, and we also passed 10 videos. This is the 11th session. Thank you for joining. Thank you for all likes, comments. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe with a ring bell to not miss the next session. If you are not sure how to implement a double-click listener, you can research how it is done in other popular IDEs. Okay guys, I'm not sure if you can see it, but the top left corner guy, this agent has been stopped because of the hook. So, and it's still green. So I've just added another bug ticket, and we're gonna take care of that at the next session, because this is very misleading. He's waiting now for your action, but by looking at the glow, you cannot tell that. Okay, so since the spec is ready, I want you now to continue and prepare an implementation plan. And please remember, run 2 sub-agents to verify the plan. One of them should focus on the code, the other one should focus on the architecture. Okay, so let's take a quick look at our board. So that's the issue that I just told you about. I'm gonna move it to top because it has much higher prio than the other things. Then the show open source licenses, this is in progress. 3 things are still in the planning stage. Let's give them a bit more time and we can start working on the implementation. And in the meantime, of course, a friendly reminder, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any ideas about our sessions, maybe there is something that you would like to learn more about Shikigami or Who is Out of Office, that's the second application that we are working on. Who is Out of Office is an open source leave planner for small and medium teams. It's written in PHP and uses Symfony framework. Actually, let me show you. So this is the Who is Out of Office. This is an open source leave management application, self-hosted, fully customizable because it's an open source application. If you go to my GitHub, Who is Out of Office, you can fork it if you want, you can adjust it to your needs. We have very high logic code coverage, 98%. We follow a PHP Stan level 8, and this is based on the application based on PHP 8.5. You can find me on LinkedIn if you need support on it, or I can even help you with configuring it and deploying. It depends if you have some technical experience or not really. I leave it up to you. But sorry, I almost forgot. So features. Because for those who are new, they may not know, but the Who is Out of Office application provides a team calendar. It has 2-factor authentication to increase the security level, which is very important nowadays. It is mobile ready. It means that because I put a significant effort on the scalability of the UI. Once you clone the code and you run it on your local machine, you can of course play with it and then test it by yourself. It has Slack integration, so if you are using Slack in your team, you can have a dedicated channel where managers can approve or reject leave requests. It has as well iCal feeds integration. Every user can generate a dedicated iCal feed URL and then use it in their favorite calendar application. And there is also an integration with Nagardata's calendars API, where there is more than 100 countries with set of public holidays, and this gonna be imported to your instance and also taken into account in the team calendar. And at the bottom there is a link to the documentation, so feel free to check it. And for example, this is how the calendar theme within the application looks like. But okay, that was who is out of office, and let's take a look at the state of our agents. Okay, so one of them is waiting, and yeah, this is the another example of the bug that we just uncovered. So the application is not ready to handle stop hooks. I've added it to the bugs list, so we're gonna work on it next time. But for now, let's start subagents to work on the double shift file search mechanism. I want you to start working on it in a subagent driven mode. Please run code review after each milestone, and then once everything is ready, the final code review and the final architecture review. Okay, so I think because the Claude session has just been refreshed, let's start another agent. And that guy should work on... yeah, maybe custom key bindings. Or no, wait. I'm gonna show you something. So here is a gear icon. Once you click on it, you can define default settings for agents model, for a new agent model. You can decide what is the default model for your default effort, and then there is also a theme. I'm using dark, and because almost everywhere in every app I'm using the dark mode, I never switched to the light until yesterday, and as you can see, once you switch to light, the UI elements are changing into the light mode, but sessions are still dark. So maybe let's take care of that bug. So I'm moving the bug issue into planning. But let me switch to dark because I really hate light modes. But actually there is another idea that I would like to implement as well, but it has low prior, is to have an option to have more than one light and more than one dark skin theme in the application, because we are very different developers, and humans in general, and some are more into pink colors, for example, and other like different colors. So the idea is to make it more customizable for you, because then you can just feel about Shikigami as much more as a useful tool, and the tool that is just that fits your needs. But okay, this is for the future. So for now, light and dark modes switch issue, and we're gonna do it in we're gonna create a dedicated work tree and a branch for it. I would like you to verify what is the mechanism for switching between light and the dark modes, because when I have a running sessions and I'm switching from dark to light, the UI elements in the Shikigami applications are transitioning from dark to light, but terminal sessions are still in the dark mode. Please don't use systematic debugging for it. Just try to figure out by yourself or run 2 sub-agents to verify current implementation. Okay, please start working on the implementation in sub-agent mode. Please run code review after each milestone, and then at the end, final code review and the deep architecture review on the feature. I wanted to follow best practices in the Electron applications and TypeScript language. Best practices. Okay, so does it mean we can resolve this issue? And there is an important thing. I don't want to lose any existing content in a terminal, and I don't want to restart the terminal session. By the terminal session, I mean the agent that is working or idling or whatever. I don't want to lose its context, and I don't want to restart it. Okay, since the plan is ready, please start working in the subagent driven mode. Please run code review after each milestone, and then the final code review and the architecture review. And the agents that are working on it should follow test-driven development. I'm not sure if you heard, but today, I'm not sure if it is still, if they are still live, but there was a PHP verse live streaming on YouTube. If you, I didn't have time really to watch it from the beginning till the end, but if you had time and there was something interesting, please let me know in the comments section or in the chat. Could you please verify as well if the same issue is in the editor area? Okay guys, so this is the state. We have 4 things in progress, 1 is still in planning. This is the open source licenses model. Let me verify. No, sorry, this is as well in progress. So we have 5 agents fully working on the Shikigami, 4 features, 1 bug, the theme related thing. So it's almost hour and a half of today's live stream, so thank you for joining. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and especially. And yeah, I'm gonna let them work for some time, and then I'm gonna move it to manual verification. So the next session we're gonna verify either all of them or some of these features that we worked on today. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a nice day or have a nice evening, depends from where you are watching me. Thank you. Bye bye.